And fast following on, we have our fantastic panel. We have Teresa Shea, who is the Vice President for Cyber Offense and Defense Experts at Raytheon Intelligence and Space. We have Lynch from Rebellion Defense. He's the co-founder and CEO. And our moderator today is Nancy Youssef, who's the National Security Correspondent for the Wall Street Journal. You're almost welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all for being here. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. You know, Michael, based on what you said, I want to open a question to all of you, which I think is sort of the most basic and almost necessary question to ask after that. Does the United States maintain its technological edge?
Okay, I'll start. We're losing that edge, and we're losing it at a rapid rate. And I think if we look at what is required to keep that edge, it's going to be a recommitment to science and technology in this country. We continue to have an erosion of federally funded R&D as a percentage of GDP. That's gone down from 2%, now national security-oriented investment, 0.35%. That does not sound like a leader who wants to maintain a technological edge. So we've got to recommit to that. It involves STEM talent. So where is our program to increase STEM talent? We need that in the military. And we need moonshots to inspire people, just like we had during the space race. We need that kind of resurgence of excitement about what we can do in science and technology and how that's going to enable economic prosperity for the next 20, 30, or 40 years. China's doing that long-term thinking. We have to as well.
Yeah, I'll just pile on to that a little bit, Michael. So I would say what our nation has always been so great about is solving those very hard, difficult technical problems. We've been awesome at that. And I continue to think that we are awesome at that. We have the best and brightest of people to do just that kind of work. I can remember, you guys probably aren't old enough, but I can remember the DoD offset strategy when we protected our technological advantage with two ways. The first was being able to purchase research and development, put money against research and development specifically for military solutions. And the second really was our ability to protect that from our adversaries. And as Michael said, our adversaries today are playing the long game. They really don't play by any rules that I can determine, which is different for us. We're absolutely a nation of rules, which is a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing. But I think what we have to do is recognize that the world we're in today is much of that military technology is that commercial technology, and the money is being spent in the private sector. And I mean the large private sector, including our big technology companies. So our ability within the government to leverage that technology, and number two for me, is get it into operations faster. Everybody's been talking about speed. That really is a risk calculation, and we have to get better at making those decisions and taking that risk.
So how I look at this is I think that we're entering this interesting transition time. We're going from an era that we defined most of these rules, which you could think of as the hardware industrial era of defense. This is about how we create industrial machines, and we can all picture them. Everybody in this room, when we think of the military, will think of an aircraft carrier or a tank or a jet or a satellite floating around in outer space. Now, those things aren't going to go away. That's very clear. But we're entering into what I think of as the software era of defense, and that's going to be driven by the flawless execution of software to do the mission of defense and national security. Well, the skill sets in this transition are different. So when you ask the question about, is there a deterioration that's going on? Are we maintaining our advantage? I think that it's interesting to say, hey, we're really good on where we came from. And Mike just spent some time talking about the history of how we all ended up here. But where we're going